everyone, my name's Hannah Sweetman and I run an online nutrition company called Sweetman Nutrition. My philosophy for my nutrition company is how I approach nutrition and how I educate people via nutrition. So the important thing to me is to be able to educate my clients on nutritional aspects such as portion distribution, how much someone should be consuming on a daily basis, how to make social occasions work for you, how to make sure that you hit your individual targets, so calorie requirements, protein requirements, carb requirements, and fat requirements in order to achieve your body composition or what you desire for your body composition to be. For a lot of people, that does come back to weight loss. They want to get into a position where they can lose some weight and therefore get to a point where they can happily maintain this weight and maintain this body composition that they desire. So I make sure that we can really do this via good education. There's no banned foods. There's just making sure that we are eating a nutrient-dense diet 80% of the time, and then we can enjoy social occasions and enjoy those kind of treat foods 20% of the time. And really make sure that we know how much of our requirements, so that's going to differ person to person because everyone's calorie requirements are going to be different, how we can make that 80-20 approach work for the individual. So that's where I come back to the programs that I offer. So currently I'm looking to run a 12-week program where we really work on consistency and adherence, because these are the two main factors that will help you see your results. A lot of the time I see a lot of clients report, or a lot of people just report to me and say, I kind of know what I should be eating, but I need some consistency and I need an approach which is going to get me adhering on a week by week, day by day basis in order for me to ingrain some really good habits and then move forward. So this is the approach and system I'm looking to run over the next 12 weeks. So it will be very much getting some nutrition consistency, making sure that you're adhering to the protocols, and therefore running this in a community so that we have the support we need in order to ingrain these habits. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, here's what's involved over the next 12 weeks. The way the program runs will be, you'll be added to a support community, and that support community will happen via Facebook but also via WhatsApp. So you'll firstly be given bespoke calorie requirements, and the way I do this is on a week by week basis, because if I was to give you everything in week one, it would be a lot to take in and a lot to adjust to all in 1 week. So the way I like to do it is split things over the weeks, as everyone's going to adapt to the approach at a different time or at different speeds. And I want to make the approach manageable for the individual. So I like to give out just calorie requirements for someone in that week one basis, and then as they get used to just counting calories and tracking their food intake via MyFitnessPal, once they kind of manage that and they're hitting their required calorie intake, then we can start to add in after maybe week one, week two, depending on how quick the individual adapts. We'll add in a protein requirement and a protein target to hit, and then once someone starts to adapt to hitting that target, then we can start to add in fats and carbs. From previous experience, I know that most people get the calorie target quite quickly. The protein one is one that people start to struggle with, and that's why the support community is there to give people ideas, recipes on how to hit that target. To be honest, calories are going to be your number one focus point, followed by protein. Fats and carbs can be a little bit more interchangeable depending on food choice and preference, and that's fine because people find that if they're hitting their calorie requirements and their protein requirements, they will still be seeing the success that they want, and that weight loss will be coming off. So that's the two main ones to be hitting, and I do like to give it as a step-by-step process. So with the nutritional check-ins, there'll be weekly check-ins, so I'll be asking for people to screenshot their MyFitnessPal and give us a weekly average of their calorie intake to see if we've been hitting our targets, and if not, then we can give some advice on how to get or stay within those targets. and also we'll be doing the same once protein comes in. So if protein is brought in as a target point, we'll be also asking you to screenshot your nutrient intake for a weekly perspective, so we can see how close you were at hitting your target points such as protein, carbs and fats. And then we can give you suggested ideas to make sure that you stick to that goal or find it easier to stick to that goal. So that's how we'll be checking in via your nutrition. So the question I then get asked is, what if I don't want to track my intake or track my foods via MyFitnessPal? And that's absolutely fine. We can do that still on this program. You'll be given meal templates, and I will post up a video on what I mean, or a photo of what I mean via meal templates. And the meal templates can be used if you're tracking on your intake via MyFitnessPal, or if you wish not to. And they're absolutely fine. They'll still allow you to achieve your goals because the meal templates are very nutrient dense meals and very calorie controlled as well. It just takes away the guesswork because you'll be told what foods to go for and how much of that food. And there's at least 5 or 6 options for each meal. So there'll be breakfast and lunch and dinner meal templates with 5 or 6 different options. And you can pick one, or you can pick a different one every week. You could pick the same one depending on what your preference is and what your taste preference is as well. And these meal templates will come out regularly in order to keep them updated and make sure that we get a variety of different meals within our diet. So then we come to our training programs, and I'll also post up after this video an idea of what the training programs will look like. The training programs will come in 2 different phases. There'll be 5 weeks duration with 2 testing weeks, and the testing weeks are very much to the individual, so don't kind of stress if you feel like you're not ready for a testing week at this stage. The test can be as kind of beginner level as doing kind of chair squats, so that's kind of sitting down in a chair and standing back up, to an advanced level to someone that can do a barbell squat. So very much to the individual and where the individual is starting at. The reason I want to test is basically to give us some starting ideas, and that gives you a drive and a focus for the end of the 12 weeks to have somewhere that you want to basically be beating. So very much it's all you versus you. You want to be better than where you were in week 1, and that's why the program is developed very much to the individual, because everyone's going to be on a slightly different starting point, and that's cool. That's what we want. It's what we want as a part of a community that is to support people wherever they're starting. So yeah, the training programs will be 2 phases, 5 weeks duration, with the 2 testing weeks to make up the 12 weeks. The training programs are ideally done 3 days and 1 optional day, so 4 days total if you could fit that in. They can be done at home, so if you are someone that would rather work out at home or you don't have access to a gym, that's absolutely fine. The program can be done at home. To be optimal, it's best if it is done in a gym, but I understand with our people's busy lifestyles these days, it is sometimes more of a convenient option to be able to work out at home, and that's absolutely fine. Within the community as well, and on the Facebook page, there are plenty of exercise demos in case you're not, or if you're unsure on how to perform an exercise. There'll be recipe videos, there'll be continuous support from myself and the other team members within the group. And essentially as well, you'll be added to a WhatsApp group, and the WhatsApp group would be no more than 5 people, myself and up to 5 people. And the WhatsApp group is just a way of being kind of an easy communication if you need to get text me or do a voice message to me. Say for example, if you're in the gym and you have a question, you want to get that kind of quicker response, that's a way to do it. And it's also a way to kind of communicate with the people that are starting the program at the same time as you, and just feel supported throughout your journey. So the program, or intakes to the program, are going to occur every 6 weeks. So if you're doing the program and you start at week 1, someone will then enter, or a new group of intake will enter at week 6. So you'll basically have 6 weeks to kind of get really used to the community or the people in that community, and then there'll be some new people added at week 6. moving forward. So yeah, the community will grow, but you will have the WhatsApp group as your kind of tight niche community, and then you'll have the extended community as well. There will be regular check-ins. So like I said, consistency and adherence are the main kind of drivers towards success, drivers towards weight loss success. So the community will support you and I will support you, and there will be regular check-ins. Monday will be a nutrition check-in where you'll screenshot your weekly averages from MyFitnessPal, or you'll report how well you're doing on the meal templates. Wednesday there'll be measurements, so we'll be taking measurements, and that will be submitted via Google form. If you feel up to it, you will also take photos, but that is very optional to yourself. I would highly recommend it. You can see some great progress via photos, but it is up to you and how confident you feel. These measurements and photos will go to a Google form so that I'm the only person that will be able to see them, and yourself, to see how progress is going. And that way I can know how things are going, but also if I need to change anything as well. Friday will be a step check-in, so you'll post up a screenshot of your weekly averages of how many steps you're doing on a week-by-week basis. And Sunday will be a training check-in day, so this will be where you'll post up your training program, or a photo of your training program to let me know how you're getting on with hitting the targets of the training program. So that's how we'll keep you adhering and keep that support and consistency going. So if this is something that you think that would be highly beneficial to you and something that you'd get a lot out of and help you achieve your goals, then really report back to me, let me know, and we'll make sure that you get involved in the next intake of this program. Hi everyone, so this would be an example of a breakfast meal template. So you can see here there's an example of what the food is and how much in kind of volume or grams, that much of that food that you would want and what you're going to pair that food with. So there's different options here depending on kind of your food preference. So you can see there's 6 options here, and the meal plan templates are designed for people who don't want to track their food via MyFitnessPal. They're happy to follow the templates for their daily food intake. The templates are designed to be eaten 3 meals and 1 snack options off the lists. So here is the breakfast template, there would be a lunch and dinner template, and there would be a snack template as well that you would receive in the plan. So to see the kind of desired level of weight loss that one would expect, I would recommend keeping meals out, so meals at restaurants, to 1 to 2 times per week, and that would be a maximum. I'd also recommend keeping calories from kind of drinks such as like your lattes, your cappuccinos, within 100 calories, so that's really 1 milky coffee a day, and keeping alcoholic beverages very much to a minimum, maybe like 1 small glass of red wine, 1 to 2 times per week, but keeping also things such as sodas down to a minimum unless they're sugar-free. So this would be an example of that template, and you'd receive obviously many of these throughout the training plan, but this just gives you a good insight. Finally, you can see here an example of a training plan. So we can see here that we have our goals of the week. So each week has 3 sessions and then 1 optional session, which is more of a circuit-based session. You can see as well that the program comes to you blank, and this is from the perspective that then you can select by clicking on the tab and clicking on the drop down menu as to what your preferred option would be. So if you are someone who is new to weight training, I'd say that you start with a Swiss ball wall squat. However, if you are quite advanced at training, you could start with a barbell squat. So if you then click on a Swiss ball wall squat because you're new to that training, you can then do this with all the other exercises, selecting which one is appropriate to you because of what your abilities are. You'll then see that you'll have a goal for each week. So for week 1, it's just to find your starting weights, and it improves or gets a little bit harder each week until you get to your deload week, which is kind of the halfway point before you receive phase 2. Each program will have 4 different exercises, followed by a core exercise, followed by a finisher, and this finisher will be something more aerobic based. And that is the concept of all the training plans.